We shall not settle for less than total victory. That is the determination of every American on the fighting fronts. That must be and will be the determination of every American here at home.
Now hear this. I wrote my mother.
Falmouth in the 1940s was a really quiet, sleepy, small town.
On Friday night, everybody walked uptown, and the stores were open, and everybody, I can just remember people walking real slow and talking, and always went to Pop Donnelly for their haircut, always went to Harvey Martin for their hardware, had Mary Donnelly fix their hair.
Similar to most Americans during World War II, the residents of Falmouth really dove headfirst into the war effort.
I think we all contributed in a funny way because what is now Gus Canty Center, the USO was there. So we used to go to the USO and wrap bandages and pack them in boxes and things like that.
The average Falmouth family, including the children, helped out with rationing, victory gardens, canning, even helping the local farmers harvest their crops.
We knew that things were very different. You know, we were sort of in awe seeing all these soldiers. Nice thing about it was, I don't ever remember growing up being afraid.
And they come back from training, the 26th Yankee Division, on December 6th, 1941, thinking they're done with their winter training for the year, and then the following day, World War II starts up, and with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So the camp was built in such a short time. I mean, think about that. By March of 1942, 125 days or so from the start of the war, suddenly you've got these 700 series cantonments, these barracks that are being built, temporary barracks. They become a template that's used all over the United States for the different bases. I mean, 13 chapels go up very quickly. The hospital, a hospital with beds for 1,722 soldiers, and that'll be used throughout the war. Locally, just imagine the impact. You've got, everybody's out of work. It's the Depression. And you've now got the largest WPA project in Massachusetts history coming to town, basically. The laying out of this base, putting 20,000 local people to work. So it's suddenly this little spot on the Cape becomes a very important place. By March of 1942, you had homes for about 30,000 troops here at Camp Edwards. The population of Cape Cod at that time was 37,295 people. So you've got as many people living at Camp Edwards as you do on Cape Cod, more or less, in 1942.
The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution was founded in 1930, so by the beginning of the war it was still relatively young and immature. And its director, Columbus Islin, sent a letter in 1940 to the Defense Department illustrating ways that the Institute could contribute to the war effort. I think he saw it as a way to not only strengthen the institution, but also to contribute their valuable research skills. It was really a great fit both ways. The breadth of projects that the scientists were working on at Huey was amazingly broad. Everything from developing shark repellent, more advanced anti-fouling paints for the bottom of boats, developing sonar equipment, and underwater explosives, just to name a few. I think one of the most lasting legacies of World War II on the town of Falmouth was not only population growth, but just a sense of the town's identity, that there was a world really beyond Falmouth and beyond Cape Cod.
Anytime these small towns kind of were infused with the number of people that they were during the wartime, it opened them up to people that they had never met before. I mean, imagine the southern accents and such coming through here that folks had never heard in person by that time. It opened up kind of another worldliness here, and the German soldiers, even them as well, the Italian prisoners of war who came down here from Boston too. I think that it gives more of a cosmopolitan feel to a small town, gives them more of a chance to see the world, and I think that in the long run that's a good thing.
To me, the best part of this exhibit was that most of the items were not in our collection. They were memories and stories and objects that were collected from the community. And as such, the exhibit itself really becomes a celebration of what people collected and saved and what they remembered.
I talk to my grandchildren constantly about how Falmouth used to be, and even our original accent is disappearing.
I think folks in town can take great pride in these fascinating stories and telling them to future generations so that this moment in Falmouth's history will be remembered for just how significant it really was.
I just feel like you have to keep history in your hand, and that's why I like to reminisce about it.
I can't sleep. I never knew a single soul could be so sweet. No, I never knew I could love anybody, baby, like I'm loving you.